As seen on TV.
Okay, so today we got to figure out how to play As Seen on TV.
Ever since like 2005, we've been making up and playing our own games.
Then last year, we created Pandora's blocks, which are these tools we use to help improvise without the pressure of pulling something out of thin air.
There's images on all sides so that when we roll them, we can use the face-up images as inspiration. We also make a new block every week in collaboration with our gorgeous graphic designer, Logan Sutherland.
Yeah, he's just truly beautiful, and this is the art that we made together.
It's wonderful.
It's part of the City Block pack. And As Seen on TV, as we all know, are those really cheesy commercials.
Where you get infomercial advertised, where they just break stuff. Or
where they're like really bad at something,
Yeah.
and then this just absolutely changes their lives. Or that's usually the MO.
Here's an idea.
Okay.
One of us rolls a block, comes up with a product. The other person has to basically develop that As Seen on TV commercial using more block rolls.
The first that's coming to my mind is, what if we rolled for like 4 problems, and then we have to come up with the As Seen on TV fix that just is a cure-all for those specific problems?
Right. Like you come up with like that kooky situation. Do you want to do 3 little problems?
Okay, 3 problems. So you need 6 blocks for this?
Yeah. This product needs to keep me invisible from robbers.
Okay, invisible from burglarizers. It can hold snacks.
And it provides shade.
Okay, what is this thing that does all that?
Have you ever been held up in the middle of the street for your wallet?
Or standing around and you got no more hands for all your snacks?
Oh no, it's also a toasty day. What's gonna keep you away from that sun?
Well, this is like a sweater, but it goes around you. It's a big bubble that's just not see-through.
Bubble sweaters.
Bubble sweaters.
Bubble sweaters.
There's compartments for your snacks. There's...
Totally stab resistant.
Yeah. Oh, if I was in the bubble sweater, you didn't
Blink.
get me.
The bubble sweater. Taking a step back from creating something is an important part of the creative process, so now it is time for...
Brain food.
I just love the voice.
Love the voice. I'm going to demonstrate the perfect way to open an avocado here. Now, you take a butter knife because you don't want a knife that's too sharp. You know what I mean? And you get in there and you just start cutting, and you just keep that line all the way through, and you'll find that when you get to the other side, you have a perfect cut. You get in here, and we've got our lovely big old slippery pit. That's something that I always found very interesting about avocados. I mean, they got just the slipperiest pits. So, and what I do is I stick to, this is why we aren't using a sharp knife. Because you do that and you slip, because it's a slippery pit. You might get yourself into some trouble. Then you want to put the whole pit in your mouth and suck off all of the avocado. Yum. You want to start slicing. Slice. Slice. Now that right there is some food for thought.
These were named by the Aztecs because, they're native to like Central/South America.
Okay.
After scrotums because they look like balls. Ajacatl is what I'm going to guess. We'll put the text up, I guess, if we end up doing that. Meaning testicle. It is thought that it is referenced either due to its shape or that it is considered to possess aphrodisiac qualities. So.
What did you think of the game? How did you think it went?
I thought it went pretty well, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I had a good time doing it.
Like, I guess I'll see in the edit of it, but like I'm not super confident about that
You're
one.
not wicked jived?
I'm not wicked jived.
What would you change?
Like, I think that I'd like to try your idea of... Explain it again for the audience. I know what it is.
Yeah, I also know what it is because it was my idea, and like I don't easily forget. My idea: one player rolls some blocks, comes up with an As Seen on TV product. The other player has to roll more blocks to come up with the infomercial.
because I'm imagining that this commercial is like side by side split screen of like
Right.
the person who's experiencing all these things and then
the person coming up with the
things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a on-the-fly charade kind of a thing almost.
Yeah, it's kind of like an on-the-fly charades thing.
Scoot these out of the way and get rolling. Drumsticks that make different sounds based on what they hit.
Oh, okay. Normal drumsticks.
Yeah. Well, these ones make different sounds. You make them fun, I don't know.
Ever since you were a kid, you were sitting in your kitchen banging those pots with sticks. I know it, you know it, your neighbors certainly know it. And so now you've been sitting around, you're like, I've heard all the sounds that there are. They're all kind of similar. They're all like all these similar sounds. Now, oh no, now you're so bored. Well, not today, because today you decided you're gonna buy Drum-A-Lots. Now, Drum-A-Lots are absolutely freaking fantastic. What they do, your mind is blown. What they do, Drum-A-Lots, is you hit, let's say you hit a pan and you say, what does this sound like? And you're thinking it's gonna sound like, but actually, it sounds like, whoa! And so, you're sitting there and you're like, you're looking out the window and you're waiting for, to meet some friends, and it's just not happening for you. And you pull out your Drum-A-Lot and you hit that windowsill, and normally you thought it was gonna sound like, but not today. Today is the day that you got your Drum-A-Lot. Today, hitting that windowsill is gonna sound like, wow! That's crazy! Drum-A-Lot is a proud supporter of Cheesy McEasy, making you the McDonald's chef at home. We've got a user of Drum-A-Lot here. Now, how was your life before you got the Drum-A-Lot?
Well, before my life, I was bald. I didn't have any friends. I only had 3 toes total. But now that I have Drum-A-Lot, all my toes are back, perfect flowing hair, and everything I hit sounds totally rad.
Drum-A-Lot.
Drum-A-Lot changed my life. It can change yours too. Koopa chicka boo.
I had the Drum-A-Lot. I was bald.
So one player is going to roll a pair of blocks to come up with an as seen on TV product.
Mm-hmm. Now this can be anything.
Anything.
Did you describe what it did?
No, I just came up with pretty much the name.
Wait, what did you say? Because you didn't say Drum-A-Lot.
What? No, you're right. I didn't say Drum-A-Lot. One player rolls a couple of the blocks and describes an infomercial as seen on TV product.
Yeah. Like you don't have to name it, but like you explain like what it does. Then the second player can either use the blocks to influence the turnout of the commercial or just riff off of it. Mm-hmm. And the first player that came up with the product is the model for the product. So they're the one in the commercial that all the shenanigans are happening to. That like as the narrator is describing the thing is, emoting what's going on.
Right.
Now, applications for this, I think, are slumber parties. I think this is a hit at slumber parties.
It would kill at slumber parties.
Yeah, it would frickin' clean house at a slumber party.
Mm-hmm. You take turns. It is as long as you want it to be.
Yeah. So that's the game. And as always, you can buy these on Amazon. Mm-hmm. And you can support us on our Patreon and help support the show. We've got a bunch of perks. You can see an extra video every week where we play old games that we've played before, but now we're better at them because we know how to play.
Practice makes better.
Yeah, practice does make better. Make sure that you hit subscribe. Q&A.
With Z and A.
We're going to answer a question from Patron Meg.
Patron Meg.
Now the question, let me just pull it up. You mentioned traveling. Aaron, Paris. Zack, Colombia. Where else have you traveled, and do you plan to go anywhere this year? That's a good question, Patron Meg.
Patron Meg. One time, me and some of my friends drove to Arizona.
So
that was a fun travel that we did.
Yeah.
I got to Arizona. It was 115 degrees. Plastic was melting in the car, and I left immediately. I flew home.
I went to Greece 3 years ago, and it was really incredible. I'm Greek, and I have family in Greece, and so so many people were related to me in this one town that I separately bought a bus ticket. The bus driver, so like some of my family brought me to the bus, and then they were like, "Oh, that's your other cousin, Billy, the driver of the bus," and I was like,
As for where I'd like to go,
"Yeah,
I think somewhere European that's super cheap to get to, you know?
like Iceland."
Sure, like Iceland.
I don't think Iceland's European, is it?
Eh.
I mean, I'm sure they're very European
it's its
over
own
there.
zone. Yeah. And they got a cool language and fun money, which is interesting.
Right. You can do that. It's $4 a month, and you can ask us a question on Patreon, and we will answer the best one every week.
Yeah.
And so if you're a good question asker, like Patron Meg, then it'll be your question. And now we're gonna leave you off with a nice little game of parting words of wisdom.
Two-factor authentication can't save you from malaria.
One day they hatch, and the next day they fly.
This is your first episode of the Game Lab. We did one before it. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's probably down
Yeah,
there.
it's linked here. That was a good one. That was called Dicebreaker. So if you've got some strangers, you can get to know them with that. You could buy these or not, whatever you choose to do. If you want to have fun, they're fun.
Heck yeah, they're fun.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah, they're fun.
Heck yeah, they're fun.
Heck yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, so we will see you all next week.
Merry Christmas. Make sure you keep your shoes nice and clean.